This is Sunday Live with Jeff Koinange and Olive Barrows.
And a very happy Mother's Day to all mothers, want-to-be mothers, soon-to-be mothers, around the country, around the region, and around the world.
Right. Happy Mother's Day from all of us here at the Royal Media Services. I hope it's been a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a great show for you today.
Yes, we do.
Start tweeting.
At O Barrows, at Citizen TV Kenya.
At Koinange Jeff, the hashtag.
Sunday Live. And it'll come in handy because we have a guest.
We do.
Yes.
Charles Owino.
Yes, we do.
Selofu.
Yes, himself. And we will be discussing the politics of security.
See you in a bit. Let's do this.
Tonight?
Tonight. Trailing MP Were's killers. Man suspected to have pulled the trigger, killing the late Kasipul MP, arrested, bringing the number of suspects in custody to 11.
Badala ya urudi Nairobi usukume rais na deputy rais na cabinet ministers wenzako ifanyike, unakuja kutetea wananchi hapa na kuleta chuki na kuleta uchachuzi na kulalamika kama mwananchi wa kawaida.
Style up and act your new position. Angry Deputy President Kindiki lectures new Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku for complaining over delayed projects.
Celebrating Pope Leo. Kenyans join the world in honoring new Pope Leo XIV.
Defending nominated commissioners. Kenya Kwanza legislators vow to clear IEBC nominees despite concerns from the opposition.
And welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Eula Nzale. Olive?
We begin with an update on the security situation and detectives investigating the murder of the late Kasipul Member of Parliament, Charles Ong'ondo Were, say they have arrested the hitman believed to have pulled the trigger that ended Were's life along Valley Road. The suspect, identified as Isaac Kuria, alias Kush, reportedly escaped to Isebania after completing the task and was preparing to flee the country when he was arrested by detectives. The arrest of the suspect brings to 11 the number of suspects in police custody. You'll hear more now from Gatete Njoroge.
The operation to arrest more suspects involved in the assassination of late Kasipul MP, Charles Ong'ondo Were, continues to gather pace. In their latest catch, detectives have arrested a man believed to be the hitman. The suspect, identified as Isaac Kuria, alias Kush, is reported to be the man who was hired to pull the trigger that ended the life of the MP in traffic along Valley Road. Sources privy to investigations say Kush, suspected to be involved in criminal activities within the city, had arrived in Nairobi CBD on the fateful day with one mission: to eliminate the politician. He is reported to have closely followed the MP movements before finally cornering him in traffic. Reports indicate that after executing the task, he went straight to Mihango where he dropped the murder weapon, which police have since recovered. The hitman then took a motorbike from Mihango all the way to Narok to avoid detection from police. It is in Narok where the suspect boarded a public service vehicle all the way to Isebania to evade police dragnet. He booked himself in a lodging where he was in constant communication with a relative who lives in Tanzania with a plan to flee the country. Detectives who were tracking communication between the suspect and the other suspects in police custody arrested Kush at his hideout with another suspect and brought them to Nairobi. The suspects are expected to be arraigned at JKIA law courts on Monday. The arrest brings to 11 the number of suspects nabbed in the last 12 days. Others in police custody are Were's bodyguard Alan Omondi, the MP's driver Walter Owino, William Imoli, who is believed to be the planner and cash handler, businessman and politician Philip Aroko, suspected to be the financier, Lake Basin Development Authority Director Abel Ocheng, also suspected to have financed the plan, Edwin Oduor and Dennis Manyasi, detectives are actively pursuing another key suspect believed to have participated in planning, execution and escape of the suspects. Also under probe is the money trail, which police say will help in resolving the motive of the murder. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, at the same time, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has lectured Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku over what he termed as public incitement over government projects. Now, the Deputy President said CS Ruku, who is barely a month in office, is part of a parcel of the cabinet that should get solutions to challenges facing Kenyans instead of engaging in public lamentation. Let's get more from our very own Stephen Little.
The Public Service Cabinet Secretary, who alongside the Deputy President hosted elders from Embu, addressed the over 5,000 elders in Siakago, where he used the opportunity to ask the government on behalf of the elders to tarmac the roads in the area.
Ile barabara ya Giguyani kuelekea Momenji kwenda Kerie kufika Ishara, pia Your Excellency, hawa wazee wanaomba uone kama hiyo barabara itaekwa rami mwaka huu.
These remarks angered the Deputy President.
Rais amekubahatisha, wazee wamekubariki, alafu wewe ndio unakuja kuchochea wananchi hapa, na ile mambo bado kutendeka. Badala ya urudi Nairobi usukume rais na deputy rais na cabinet ministers wenzako ifanyike, unakuja kuchochea wananchi hapa na kuleta chuki na kuleta uchachuzi na kulalamika kama wananchi wa kawaida.
Kindiki lectured the Public Service CS in the presence of the elders and reminded him that he now sits at the top decision-making organ, the cabinet, where he can push the development agenda.
Hiyo mambo unaniambia hapa, sasa wewe si mbunge tena, wewe ni waziri. Hiyo mambo umeniambia, tunaenda kusukuma na wewe. Wewe sio mbunge wa kusema serikali ni wewe. Kwa serikali ni nani tena?
Kindiki further added that Ruku's remarks amounted to public incitement and instead cautioned him against public utterances that mislead the public.
You cannot be a minister na badala usaidie wananchi kuelewa program ya serikali imefika wapi na ile imekwama, usaidie wananchi hiyo kitu ipatikane, unakuja hapa kulia, kuchochea na kulalamika. It is not possible. Ukitaka kulalamika, out.
Earlier today, the Deputy President was in Meru for a church service where he rooted for government projects.
Sasa hivi tunajenga zaidi ya masoko 400 katika Jamhuri ya Kenya. Hapa Meru tuko na soko 14 ambazo tunajenga hapa Meru County. Na hapa South Imenti, hapa chini Machegene, soko imeanza, iko karibu kumalizika.
Kindiki later joined Boda Boda and Mama Mboga circles in Dumberi, Kiambu County for an empowerment program.
We stand for one Kenya because we know the people of Central Kenya are traders. They are found everywhere in Kenya. And we want a peaceful, united country so that our people can live wherever they want to live in peace.
Kindiki called on the traders in Kiambu to embrace the government of the day and exuded confidence that the Kenya Kwanza administration will deliver all its promises. Stephen Letos, Citizen TV.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, has challenged the Wiper Party leader, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, to procedurally present his concerns on the IEBC nominees to Parliament, which he says has the ultimate authority to either approve or reject the persons nominated for IEBC chairperson and commissioners. Speaking separately, a section of members of Parliament affiliated to Kenya Kwanza, led by majority leaders of the National Assembly and the Senate, vowed to complete the reconstitution process of the electoral body by clearing the names of the nominees. Seth Olale with the latest on the IEBC reconstitution.
The nomination of the IEBC chairperson and commissioners by President William Ruto is brewing a political storm, pitting the Kenya Kwanza administration and the opposition. Speaking during a fundraiser event at the St. Michael's Kamelilo School in Nandi County, Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula accused Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka of politicizing the constitutional process of reconstituting the IEBC commissioners.
But let's not just be rejecting anything and everything because it's not being brought by you. That is not how to run the country.
Speaker Wetangula instead asked Wiper leader to procedurally table his memoranda on the IEBC nominees to National Assembly's Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, JLAC, that is mandated to handle the reconstitution process.
Mwananchi yeyote ambaye ana maneno, hata wale wanasiasa ambao wanapinga, peleka maoni yenu kwa kamati ya bunge ya JLAC. That is the process.
Wetangula's sentiments was backed by a section of legislators affiliated to Kenya Kwanza Alliance, led by majority leaders of the National Assembly and Senate, who vowed to complete the reconstitution process by clearing the names of the nominees.
Wale watu ambaye mambo yao ni kupinga serikali kila wakati. Sisi tunataka kuuliza, tunataka IEBC kama jana. Hii manene IEBC ambaye rais ameweka kidole, sisi tunataka kusema kwamba wabunge mupitishe hii manene IEBC ili tuwe na IEBC.
Sasa naona wengine ambao hawana imani na chochote wameanza kuleta cheche za maneno ati chairman mwenye ameteuliwa sijui anatoka kwa jamii ndogo ya Waturkana. Waturkana ni wa Kenya.
Ningependa kumuuliza ndugu yangu Kalonzo, tafadhali nionyeshe kwa hii sheria ambayo tulipitisha ni wapi inasema ati Kalonzo mpaka aulizwe.
Matangazo ya kutangaza nani atakuwa commissioner iliwekwa kwa gazeti. Wewe mtu ulikuwa unataka kuwe IEBC chair, ungemwambia weka makaratasi.
In rejecting President William Ruto's nominees for IEBC chairperson and commissioners, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka stated that due process wasn't followed. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
All right, at the same time, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has downplayed fears of a possible split in the opposition, saying they will remain united. During a church service in Juja, in Kiambu County, Gachagua laid emphasis on the influence Kenya's youth can have on the outcome of the 2027 elections, urging them to register as voters, billing their participation in the 2027 general election as equivalent to liberation. Let's get more from our very own Ayub Abdirkadir.
Kwa makofi. Karibu sana.
With reverberations of the 2024 Gen Z-led protests calling for good governance still lingering, Gachagua, banking on the significance of the country's youthful voting bloc, tipped to make up a lion's share of the voters' register, urged them to wrestle back the soul of the nation.
Nyinyi ndio tegemeo la Kenya. Tafadhali Gen Z na muomba muende mchukue vitambulisho, mjiandikishe kura. The Gen Z are the ones who will sort out this country. So wacha tujiandikishe, tuchukue kura, tukue tayari.
On the long list of opposition leaders all eyeing the 2027 presidential contest, the former deputy president downplayed fears of split, instead striking a unity tone, stating plans by the state to fragment the opposition outfit he and others belong to will not work.
Sisi hatuwezi kosana. Sisi tutaketi tutoe mtumo. So, na tunasema we'll agree. Kama ni mimi au wengine wote wataniunga mkono. Ikisemekana si mimi ni Kalonzo, sisi yote tutamunga mkono.
Gachagua, who since his impeachment emphasized on the need for a political party, also made the much-awaited announcement on a political entity he says will help steer his political course.
So hii wiki hii nitazindua chama chetu cha kisiasa. Na baadaye tutafanya sherehe kubwa sana ya launch. Mtakuja? Na hiyo chama ndio yetu. Sisi hatuwezi kubali, uwezi gawa sisi. Chama, watu wanajua chama yao. na candidate wao watajua.
Elsewhere, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka maintained his opposition to the nomination of IEBC chairperson and commissioners, accusing President William Ruto of partisanship.
So kwa hivyo hiyo IEBC maneno, we are still insisting on not only inclusivity but consultation and concurrence.
Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
Pope Leo XIV has called on warring nations around the globe to cease attacks on each other and allow those that have known no peace start rebuilding their lives, thus reducing the number of war victims around the world. In his passionate appeal, Pope Leo XIV has sought the help of world leaders from powerful nations in achieving this. Quoting Pope Francis, who stated that essentially what we're witnessing is a fragmented World War III. Now, back here in Kenya, we have those who celebrated Mass today, welcoming Pope Francis' successor, and that is Leo XIV. Take a look at this report by Kamau Mwangi.
He appeared for the first time since his election and presentation to the world at the balcony of the St. Peter's Basilica Church on Sunday to lead thousands of gathered Catholic faithful in saying the Regina Coeli prayer, moments after leading his first Mass as Pope.
Deus Pater.
In a short message thereafter, Pope Leo XIV sought to call to order warring nations around the globe to cease attacks on one another, as already millions of people have been rendered homeless, livelihoods destroyed and peace disrupted.
As Pope Francis often said, I would also like to address the powerful people of the world, repeating the always current call, never again war.
While he appreciated the ceasefire by India and Pakistan on Friday, the Pope said it's time to allow people to return to their homes and start rebuilding what's left of their lives.
I'm deeply hurt by what is happening in the Gaza Strip. May a ceasefire immediately come into effect. May humanitarian aid be allowed to the civilian population, and may all hostages be freed.
As he made this passionate appeal, back home, Catholic faithful who attended Sunday Mass expressed hope that their new leader will steer the church into a new era, shepherding them from where his late predecessor Pope Francis left them at.
Tunafurahi kwamba tunao mchungaji katika kanisa letu, na hata katika misa ya siku leo tunamtacha jina lake Papa Mtakatifu Leo wa 18. Tunafurahi kwamba Mungu ametupa mchungaji.
Mungu ametujalia mtumishi wake huyu mchungaji. Ninaomba tushirikiane kumuombea ili Mungu amjalie afya njema akiendelea kuhudumu kama mchungaji mwema.
Leo XIV will officially be inaugurated at a Mass on Sunday the 18th of May at the St. Peter's Square after meeting with all his diplomats on Friday.
Perhaps a combination of those languages.
Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV.
All right, switching gears now, and as the world marks Mother's Day, many Kenyans are celebrating their biological mothers. But tonight we shift focus to a woman who has embodied the spirit of motherhood for children who have suffered violence. Nkatha Mugao, a 35-year-old living in Nakuru, is devoted to changing the lives of those she rescues one day at a time. Citizen TV's Maria Nyambura reports on the hardships, the triumphs, and how Mother's Day was marked in different parts of the country. Take a listen.
In Pipeline area of Nakuru, we meet Nkatha Mugao, who has for the past 6 years run a rescue center, Frolics of Hope Africa. She's a biological mother to one, but has extended her motherhood embrace to other children who are survivors of abuse.
So we support them until a time when, we are sure mtoto anaweza rudi kwa boma yao ama jamii yao. Maybe we can also, maybe si mzazi mwenyewe kumchukua, but labda ni auntie anaweza kubali kumchukua akae na yeye, or even a neighbor that's willing to take them in.
Her journey is that of resilience, From a survivor to a savior, having endured a traumatic childhood marked by abuse and the loss of her father, Nkatha transformed her pain into purpose that drove her to start this rescue center, which now hosts 47 children, among them teen moms.
I was also a child in crisis back in 2007. I was only 17. I just finished high school. Now I witnessed my dad get murdered, and so from there ikabidi nimetoroka nyumbani. That level of violence, when exposed to a child, it has a way of, kumharibu wewe kiakili, and sahi unapata pia zile mambo ambazo zina happen kwa jamii sahi right now. There are a lot of things zenye zina affect how we have the children living in the community.
Nkatha says running a rescue center comes with its own set of challenges, including finding financial helpers. Her goal is to ensure children who have gone through abuse find their voice.
Being an International Mother's Day, it feels humbling that I get the opportunity to share my life with these children. Yeah? Na sio hivyo peke yake kwa sababu hata mimi kuna mahali nilipokelewa. And because I was supported and helped and all that, I'm able to extend the same love today.
On this Mother's Day, Nkatha's story stands as a powerful testament to the strength and compassion of women who dedicate their lives to nurturing and protecting the most vulnerable in the community. Elsewhere in Litein, Kericho County, women leaders celebrated Mother's Day in style at the Litein Catholic Parish.
Nasi pia tunafuraha kusherekea kina mama wetu ama wamama wetu ambao walituzaa wakatufunza mambo mengi.
Tungeomba tu tuweze kupewa nafasi zaidi, ingawaje serikali wanafanya mambo mengi kusaidia kina mama, lakini tunahitaji mengi zaidi kutoka kwao.
And in Nyamira County, a group of women dubbed Unique Mothers celebrated Mother's Day by visiting new mothers and those caring for their sick children at the Nyamira County Referral Hospital.
Swala la afya ni swala mzito sana kwa familia, na haswa inamhusu sana mama kwa sababu yeye ndio mlezi kabisa wa mtoto.
Nimefurahia siku ya leo yenye Mungu amenisaidia kunipa mtoto na kuwa Mother's Day leo.
Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Abigail Kageha Indire, the first African to join Alliance Girls High School, has tragically passed on. Abigail passed on after a long illness, with her family sharing fond memories of her path as a passionate educationist, having been a trailblazer in the field of education. However, her story goes beyond a stellar academic record, lifting the curtain on a devoted mother and wife who died weeks after her husband, Kenya's first African professor of education. Laura Otieno now tells the story of a pair of passionate educationists who are bound in life and in death.
As birds hum over the lush vegetation dotting Vijina village in Vihiga County, the quiet at the homestead of Abigail Kageha is palpable. 3 of her children arrange a pile of photo albums alongside portraits of their parents. Their faces are bright, their hearts solemn following the death of their mother. 94-year-old Abigail Kageha died on 30th of April. Her family says her heart stopped just 2 weeks after burying the love of her life, 95-year-old Professor Philemona Fundi Indire.
So she felt a piece of the half go. Now that is where the challenge was. In as much as she still needed care in hospital, a lot of it was the broken heart.
The two were soulmates in life. Having grown up together, attending the same primary school in Kaimusi, they went on to become trailblazers in the academic world. Philemona Fundi Indire became Kenya's first African professor of education. In pictures, these two were always in each other's company. Their love strongly welded not just in academics, but also for each other.
I would say that they were closer. They became closer as they got older.
they would, either go to conferences together or travel together, just hanging around each other and, doing things together.
I think every generation, we should try and mirror that so that they also see that we live and do things by example. I think that's the best way, experiential learning.
As seen in many of these pictures, the late Professor Indire wanted his wife just ahead of him, even in death. Abigail's resting place is being prepared on a slope next to her house.
Because he looked at us as she comes first, ladies first. She's not necessarily below. No, it's actually the homestead. So she's closer to the, yes. And then he comes after that, next to her, but a little bit behind.
Abigail will be interred on 16th May this year. The family hopes that the graves of the two lovebirds will be plastered on the same day, symbolic of how they held each other down in life and in death. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
What an amazing story.
Yeah, they appear to have shared a full life.
Yeah.
We have such love stories today. This day and age.
It's Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's beautiful. A beautiful story.
We're going to take a break here on Sunday Live and let you know there's plenty more ahead, including women in the border business.
Busting.
You know what I'm saying?
Gender stereotypes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And plenty more Citizen Planet is also coming up. So, in our interview with Charles Owino
on the politics
of security. Keep tweeting at Kananga Jeff.
Ato Barrows at Citizen TV Kenya.
Hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back in the meantime. Coming up. Coming up, we tell you how women are defying stereotypes and proving that the road to success has no gender.
Nivea Black and White Deal, now with 72-hour protection. But what does that mean? 3 sitters in 3 days and no fear of sweat. 120 dances with skin as smooth as the moves. Sweat, stain, and skin protection. Nivea Black and White Deal. Skin is for embracing life. Nivea is for skin.
Great yummy taste gotta hack it. I spread bread pate nguvu gotta pack it. Napaka nyweki design ya mokoro. Blue Panda, Juni natural cocoa. 5 vitamins una grow plus the tam nani. One by one tuna flow with the energy. Dance to the beat, feel the adrenaline. Vibes ni polite. Step into the motion. Tuna hack snack na ki blue band choco for your growth.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Si niliwaambia. Halo. Niletee kama kawaida.
Kama sio kavagara, wacha kiumane.
Hii chapati ni tamu sana.
Omera, sere bila kavagara, sio sere.
Dukani usitishe unga, itisha kavagara.
Let's go to Vietnam. Join View Travel's group trip from September 5th to 12th, 2025. Starting from $2,286 per person sharing, experience 7 nights stay with breakfast, overnight cruise on Ha Long Bay, Golden Bridge Walk and Bana Hills cable car, Mekong Delta and boat cruise, explore ancient cities, caves and temples, traditional basket boat ride, Ben Thanh market shopping. Secure your spot today. Visit viewtravel.com or call and WhatsApp 0703 254 254. View Travel. Dream. Explore. Discover.
Kote nchini mbele tuendelee. Mbele Twende mbele. NCBA. Go for it.
Sukuma haina kazi mingi. Ufanye weeding, tena iko na magonjwa, you are there for it. Napelekana vizuri sana.
He called Jojo today. He said the only thing he wanted to do was just get to know his father.
It is exactly 30 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live here at Citizen Television. Listen to this next story. For years, the border industry has been a distinctly male landscape. A new wave is breaking through the stereotypes fueled by the grit and determination of women who are taking control of their livelihoods. Citizen TV's Brenda Wanga met one such woman right here on the bustling streets of Nairobi, who is not just navigating the traffic, but challenging an entire industry. This is the story of Juliet, the woman proving that the road to success has no gender.
In Nairobi's vibrant but often chaotic transport sector, the roar of bodabodas is a constant. It's a world traditionally dominated by men, but a new generation of riders is changing the landscape, one journey at a time. Juliet Odera, a 26-year-old, is one of the few female riders challenging the status quo. She has found her calling on two wheels. 2 years ago, armed with a college education but facing the frustrating reality of limited job opportunities in Kenya, Juliet decided to follow a different path, one fueled by a lifelong passion for motorcycle riding.
So I decided to nurture my passion because I had passion in riding motorcycles. So I decided I acquire my license, then I was good to go. So until now, I became perfect in whatever I'm doing.
It wasn't an easy decision. The boda industry in Nairobi comes with its own set of challenges, amplified for a woman venturing into a traditionally male space. Julia's determination and professionalism have won over many. She's built a loyal clientele who appreciate her reliability and her skilled riding. But Juliet's journey hasn't been without its setbacks. A road accident a few months ago sidelined her, putting her out of work for 3 long months.
My shoulder dislocated and my back. I had severe back pains. And frequent headaches.
Juliet is now back on the road and is more determined than ever. She understands the risks, but her passion and her need to build a better future fuel her every ride. She has also had to grapple with the not-so-pleasant reputation that the boda industry has become known for. She says she's keen on backing that trend. Her safety and that of her clients come first.
We will also recommend riders to always put on their helmets.
She says her joy is knowing that by setting this example, she's challenging other youth like herself to get into alternative forms of self-employment just like she did. Juliet's tale is more than just a story about offering transportation services and earning a living. It is also about empowerment and the unwavering spirit of a young woman who is charting her own path, one ride at a time. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Police in Mokoe, Lamu West Sub-County are investigating an incident where a GSU constable reportedly shot dead a local school teacher and her daughter before turning the gun on himself. The tragic event occurred on Sunday around 5:30 a.m. with neighbors saying they heard 4 gunshots before alerting police officers who came, broke into the house and found 3 lifeless bodies. The teacher, identified as Sheila Mukoya, was shot twice. Her daughter was killed killed with one bullet, while the officer died from a single gunshot wound. Neighbors say the GSU officer was in a relationship with the teacher and that the two had quarreled on Saturday night before the situation escalated on Sunday morning. The bodies have been moved to the Mpeketoni Sub-County Hospital morgue.
Kulitokea mshindo mkubwa sana ukatushutua. Tulipoamka na majirani kuitana kumbe ni jirani yetu mmoja hapo ameuliwa na askari na ameuliwa yeye na mtoto wake na askari mwenyewe akajiua. Ni tukio la kusikitisha sana kwa mtaa wetu leo wa Koreni.
All right, on to our weekly feature, Citizen Planet. And tonight, we cast our lens on Emanga, a sacred hill steeped in the spiritual and cultural fabric of the Abagusi people, nestled between Kisii and Nyamira counties. Once a revered symbol of identity and natural beauty, Emanga now faces a grave threat from illegal mining activities, despite the government assurances that the site is protected. Now, Citizen TV's Chris Minochino has been on this story for several weeks now, and now brings us this special report on Citizen Planet. Take a listen.
Rising majestically between Kisii and Nyamira, Emanga Hill has stood for centuries, a stone sentinel carved by time, guarding the ancestral whispers, rituals, and spiritual essence of the Abagusi people. Once wrapped in sacred reverence, Emanga's silence, once deep and unbroken, now trembles under the weight of a changing world. The hill is now a hub of activity as locals turn to rock extraction to make ends meet. Despite warnings from environmentalists, many locals throng to Emanga daily, desperate to earn a living. Women, men, and even boys now work tirelessly to crush stones into ballast, locally known as kokoto. They make approximately 250 shillings a day, a modest income that drives their determination despite the long-term consequences. Jasper Masese, a miner, says he was granted permission by a local landowner to extract rocks from Emanga. To him, the sacred legacy of the hill is a relic of the past, irrelevant in the face of livelihood and profit.
Ukikuja kidogo kuna mahali wanaita Ginamengere. So nadhani hiyo vitu watu wanakuja tu kuangalia. Tambiko ni kitambo walikuwa wanatumia. Kuna mtu ulikuwa hapa mahali nilikwambia Kenyerere, ulikuwa unatumika kwa kufanya hiyo tambiko, lakini walikuja wakaukata. Lakini saa hii sitani hapa kuna mahali mtu anaweza kufanya tambiko. Unless aenda hapo kwa Ginamengere ama Ngoromwaga huko juu kabisa. Na hiyo nadhani imepitwa na wakati.
Hapa ni milima ya Mangakimi. Hakuna kuna sita hapa kutoka hapa chini mpaka hapo tu. Hapa ni shamba ya wiki chini kwa huko.
But not everyone agrees. Patrick Lumumba, a hospitality entrepreneur and environmentalist, warns that without immediate intervention, Emanga could be lost to history. Its sacred ground reduced to rubble, its stories silenced forever.
Manga Hills is a site that has its historical and cultural significance for the community of Omogusi. This is a hill that in the old days and in the eyes and beliefs of our forefathers had spiritual significance. For instance, women who wouldn't give birth and were barren or were said to be barren or would take long to give birth would go up to the hills and pray and ask for spiritual intervention so that they can bear children or bear children. Even when they used to lose kids because of immortality, they would go up to the mountain hills.
Those living below the hill face daily fears. Sometimes rocks roll down towards homes, a deadly risk lurking within the soil.
Hii mawe ilikuja, ilipiga nduru kama bunduki, nilisikia ikapiga nduru kama bunduki. Alafu kuangalia tukaona mawe inateremka. Inataka kuzipikia nyumba. Alafu tukaona tukasema Mungu tusaidie. Hii ni nini?
Nakuja saa 10 na nakuja paka hapa. Nkaangalia iko mawa anapika nduru kabisa paka manga paka watu wakatisua ninki mawa anapika paka moto naonekana.
But I'm appealing even to the miners and even to the business community, because if you destroy your community, the gains are minimal. That should they think of actually stopping this monumental destruction of our natural barrier that has been there for hundreds of years, and now we are destroying it in weeks. I'm appealing for them to stop this. And I'm appealing also to the county commissioners that are the eyes of national government, both in Nyamira and Kisii, to seize of this matter and visit the site.
Even more worrying, residents have started harvesting water seeping from beneath the rocks, a silent warning of the damage underway. Environmentalists believe Emanga could instead become a sustainable tourism site through mountain climbing, zip lining, and nature trails. But for now, trucks line up to ferry away the hill, one load of ballast at a time. It is a sacred historical site with rich cultural significance for the Abogisi community. However, with the current economic activities taking place on top of Manga Hills, environmentalists have called for immediate restoration of Manga in line with the laws of the land. Citizen TV reached out to government officials to find answers on the ongoing activities that are chipping away history while courting an environmental disaster. Simon Tonui is in charge of NEMA in Kisii. As he says, quote, "The mining sites in Manga are illegal. No one should risk engaging in mining and deforestation. A multi-agency team will conduct yet another operation to protect our environment," end quote. John Matiangi, County Executive for Environment in Nyamira, also confirmed that a review of enforcement mechanism is underway.
In the event that they don't go back to repair that place and do restoration of the place, the county government will be left with nothing but move on and seek legal action over those people who have not adhered to the requests and to the orders to repair the place and return the place to its original position.
Environmentalists in the region have now proposed a multifaceted approach to safeguard Emanga for future generations by ensuring strict adherence to environmental and mining regulations, involving locals in conservation and provide alternative livelihoods, promoting awareness of the hill's historical and spiritual significance, and investing in eco-friendly tourism to protect the land while creating jobs. At present, the future of this 27-kilometer hill now hangs on the balance. Will it withstand the pressure that is a people dependent on its stone for their livelihoods? Or will history and culture come to its rescue? Crispino TNO, Citizen TV, Kisii.
Chamgei and Muga radio station presenters joined congregants in their local churches to take part in special Sunday services to celebrate Mother's Day. Steve Shitera has those details.
A warm reception awaited the Chamgei FM team at Liberty Gospel Church in Korongoi, Bureti, Kericho County. Led by the head of radio, Judy Kiplagat, they attended Sunday service dedicated to Mother's Day. As gospel music filled the air, the presenters keenly followed the sermon. then cake cutting and presenting gifts to mothers of Korongoi.
Tunasikiza sana Chamgee huku Kericho County, Bomet County na South Rift yote. So leo tumefurahi sana kwa uwepo wa Chamgee kwa kukuja kucelebrate wa mama zetu. So najua mama wenzangu wamefurahi sana.
Tumeibuka kama sesheni namba 1 Rift Valley. Eneo la bonde la Ufa, na pia tumeweza kuonekana katika lile jedwali la national stations. Kwa hivyo unaona tunaendelea kupanda juu.
From the Rift Valley to the mountain, the experience was mirrored at Mikumbune Methodist Church, where Mukiri Kusimba led Muga FM presenters in a special event supporting women initiatives in the church. Muga FM fans traveled from far and wide for the rare opportunity to meet in person the voices they hear on Meru's leading radio station Muga FM.
Tumeweza kusherehekea wamama wote na hapa ndipo tunasema Happy Mother's Day.
Royal Media Services uses such events to connect listeners with their favorite presenters while addressing various grassroots issues. Steve Shitera, Citizen TV, Korongoi, Kericho.
Good stuff. 2 of our, 15 radio stations that are part of the RMS umbrella?
17.
Something, plus minus.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We're going to take a break right now on Sunday Live and tell you coming up after the break, we have a conversation with Charles Owino.
Yes.
He's the head of the National Communications Center.
Yes, and he's been waiting patiently in the wings for us to get into that conversation on politics of security.
There you go. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff.
At O'Burrows at Citizen TV Kenya.
The hashtag is Sunday Live. Sunday Live takes a break. We'll be back. In the meantime, coming up.